Glad that you're with us. Those of you who are joining us through our live streaming, we're welcoming you from all across the United States and around the world. And those who are students joining us in our live experience here at the Dr. Angela Pizzella Wisdom Center, it's great to have each and every one of you with us today. So we're going to prepare for our class. This is the Power of Positive Energy, class number 5. We're going to do so by just taking a moment to quiet everything down, take some deep breaths. And why are we doing this breathing exercise? Well, it brings us into this moment. All the distractions and cares of the world can pull us away from everything that we want to experience right here and now. So we're going to take some deep breaths. We're going to breathe in through our nose, hold for a moment, and then breathe out. As we do, we're going to allow ourselves to just release all stress, every distraction, every thought that's keeping you from being right here present in this moment. And as we do this, it allows us to be just so aware, present, and right here to receive everything that God has in store for us. So let's do this together. Breathe in with me. Breathe in and release. Deep breath in and release. Deep breath in and release. And in this moment of silence, set your intention. That means to express the desire of what you'd like to receive during this time. What is it you want to experience? Name that right now. Just whisper that within and just name, this is my heart's desire. And so it is. You see, as we begin to set intention, the universe just unfolds in a wonderful direction for our lives. So if you have your note packet, take it out and let's just begin to follow along. For those of you who do not have a note packet, we encourage you to simply reach out to me at revtpaul@aol.com. And as you do so, I'll alert our registrar that you're interested in receiving note packets for each one of our classes. They're sent out prior to the class session, so you'll have a chance to prepare for the class. And I love it when I see all these students posting pictures of, I've got my notes, I got my pen, I got my cup of coffee, I'm ready to go, I got my book right here. Yes, for those who are joining us through live streaming, it's great to see you prepared and ready to study together. So let's take a look. We're looking at class number 5, and I wanted to open up this class session with this thought about what's your vibrational intention or invitation. What are you inviting into your life based on your vibrational frequency? Because everything is happening in the moment. Everything's happening right now in this moment. So as you are offering a vibration in your now into this present moment, you're receiving the result of that vibration. So if that vibration is based in negativity and fear and stress and anxiety and that lower levels of vibration, well, you're going to attract or experience from that perspective. This is why this whole class is about raising that vibrational level, raising that frequency into a level where you're attracting a similar experience to what your vibrational frequency is. So if your vibrational frequency of your life, the energy of your life is now focused on love, joy, peace, contentment, what's going to happen is you're going to attract that kind of experience in the now, right here. So you're receiving the result of whatever vibration, whatever vibrational invitation you're setting out. What are you inviting? What's your vibrational frequency inviting right now? Your every thought is attracting its vibrational essence. And whether you are thinking about wanted things or unwanted things, you're still sending out a request to attract more things like the subject of your thought. So quite often our world is filled with focus on a lot of things we don't want. We're sending out vibrational frequencies of fear, and we don't really want fear, but that's where our thoughts are. And we're sending out vibrational invitations for more stress, and we really don't want stress, but that's where our thoughts are. We're sending out invitations for more worry because that's where our thoughts are, and more lack because that's where our thoughts are, and more feelings of separation of God because that's where our thoughts are. You see, we're inviting exactly what we're sending out. So as we know that all things that happen to you, all people, things and experiences and situations that are coming to you, they come in response to that vibrational invitation. So if you're wondering why, wait a minute, why am I attracting all these negative people around me? It's been your invitation. Why am I attracting all these wonderful, joyous, like-minded, upbeat people? Well, it's because that's been your invitation. So as you look around your day-to-day experience and saying, what am I attracting? What am I attracting? What's my invitation that I'm sending out there? That'll give you clues as to what your day is going to be all about. So when you make your transition, and I don't mean about a transition end of life in this world, but when you make your transition into this non-physical, meaning you're entering into the presence of God, you're now shifting your thinking from everything about the physical world of touch, taste, hearing, smelling, etc., all those things. You're now moving into the presence. What happens is you reemerge into a pure, positive energy, and you'll leave all your resistance behind. Everyone who makes their transition reaps the glory of pure, positive energy. And I'm taking some of these things and giving credit, acknowledgement of Esther and Abraham Hicks and some of their perspectives as great teachers of New Thought. Now we've got a question coming in from Dr. David Carter.
Okay, so can you compare that statement to where in the Bible where it says, no man comes unless I call him? Is that also, that applies to us as well?
Exactly.
No situation comes to us unless we call it.
Exactly. That's what we're doing. We're calling all these things to us by our vibrational invitation. So I've added here a last line of thought, and I'll go to you, Dr. Ann, next in just a moment. Let your light so shine, meaning let that be your vibrational invitation, letting your light radiate, that light being enlightenment, wisdom, greater understanding, a higher way of thinking. Let your light so shine that they may see your good works. That means to experience your vibrational living. When people are seeing what's going on, what your vibrational frequency is all about, what's happening is they begin then to become aware, and they give glory to that divine source, God, the divine source, that pure positive energy, that divine source. What happens is the world begins to acknowledge this. So as you're sending out a vibrational invitation today of saying, I'm all about love, I'm all about grace, I'm all about peace, I'm all about abundance, I'm all about prosperity, I'm all about God's infinite goodness, I'm all about all these things, just know that you're letting that light shine in that direction. And that light is like a lighthouse, like a beacon that's attracting ships to a safe harbor, that's attracting people and those experiences to you. So let's let that be our vibrational invitation. Dr. Ann, you had a comment. I'd love to hear it.
I used to think when I first learned that principle that when something bad happened to me, I'd say, well, I just called that to me, you know. But as I think further about it, now I look at it a little differently in a little more positive way because my choice is to grow. And when I see something coming up and it either triggers me or seems really nasty, I say, this is coming up for healing. I have to heal from this whole concept and say, well, they're on their journey, I'm on my journey, you know, and so why take it to heart? You know, just heal it in yourself. But that's kind of tricky to learn to do. The healing part is tricky, but it's not all bad.
Right.
That's coming to you that feels bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, let's get another perspective to this because you can be sending out vibrational invitations from a negative energy, but you can also be sending out a vibrational frequency from the perspective, I want to grow, I want to experience, I want to learn. And as you're doing that, the law of opposites goes into action, which is going to bring about things that are opposite of what you want to bring clarity of what you do want. So what happens is darkness rises within you. You know more and more, I want more of the light. I really want this. I don't want that. So sometimes the experiences that our invitation is offering are based on our spiritual growth and our development. So let's put both perspectives together. Great comment, Anne. So it's not just all bad vibrations that we're sending out. There can be the vibrations that say, I want to grow, I want to mature. And how do we grow the fastest? By experiencing clarity in our lives. I know what I want. And one of our biggest problems to our spiritual growth in our life is that we haven't really defined exactly what it is we want. We're not clear. So to help us get clear, we're going to attract some things that we go, oh, wait a minute. Now I know I don't want this. I know I do want that. And I'm much clearer on it. So today's experience opens up with, what kind of vibrational invitation are we giving? What are we putting out there in the world? Because as we set our vibrational invitation, we want to let it be filled with the awareness of purpose. That takes us to the theme of this chapter, all about defining our purpose. Because your purpose is all around you. It lives in you. It breathes through you. It dances all alongside you. And all you have to do is allow it to guide and show you the way. Now, let's be clear here. We get kind of confused in our world because we think our purpose is our career, our job. That may not always be what your purpose is, because your purpose is much more than just what you do. It's the essence of which you are doing it from. That's your purpose. So it is to embrace all of you and all of who you are, and to live from that place that feels authentic and good to you. So discovering your purpose starts with you understanding you and your authentic purpose. Not something that somebody wants you to do, the world wants you to do, someone expects you to do, all these kinds of things that society may form. But what is your authentic you? What is really you? And what is your true nature? So we're going to look at those kind of things as we help to define even more so what's our purpose here. So it's when we look at purpose, it's like a force of energy. Your purpose is like a force of energy. It's coming up from inside you, and it helps direct the course of your life. So stop and realize that everything that's unfolding in your life right now is part of your purpose. Now think about that for a moment. What's going on in your life right now that helps you see and define your purpose? You may be going through some challenge, but it's giving you insight, because maybe your purpose is to teach or to show or to reveal how to overcome a challenge. So maybe your purpose in life is to be a person who exudes great patience and models patience for the world. So maybe you're having experiences that make you feel a little impatient, but you're realizing, wait a minute, what I really want and my whole purpose in life is to show people the power of patience. You see, we can look at all of our lives and look through the experiences. What are we going through? What are we going through that really helps us define and understand what our purpose is? So if you're struggling with this, let me just say this. Everything that is unfolding in your life right now, it's part of your purpose. And if you feel like you're not living somehow your life to its fullest potential, it could be because you're not in touch with yourself, with who you are. You may be in touch with who society wants you to be, what life wants you to be, what roles are expected of you, what ideas the world has already formed, what maybe your mother said, well, you need to be this or you need to be that, or your parents have said this in some way, or there was expectations of a husband or a spouse saying you need to act this way or be this way. But how about being in touch with yourself? Because we're not in touch with ourselves, it seems that every circumstance you find yourself is, you're questioning it, but it's really designed to bring you back to you. Anne, Dr. Anne.
You know, that's a good example. The other day something happened. I don't remember what it was. Buying an iced tea at McDonald's or something. But anyway, I came out of that situation so frustrated, saying that was the stupidest person I have ever met. I have never experienced such a stupid thing. And then I started to think about it, and I thought, wait a minute, is that how I talk to myself? Because if I talk to myself that way, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stay stuck in the mud. You know, I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to mature, evolve, whatever you call it. And I thought, that's what it has to be, exactly what you just said. You know, that just struck me so openly. And I thought, you know, it's my purpose to exhibit God in all places. And to do that, I got to face my own stuff and learn how to express myself in another God-like fashion and not judge and say that was so stupid. There's no point in it anyway, you know?
All of life is speaking to us, guiding us, directing us, bringing us back to understanding the unfolding of ourselves. Now, I just want to let you know that I love all your questions. So please just raise your hand if you got a question about anything. There's no wrong questions or comments. I love them. They add to our class experience. So feel free, if anyone has a question, just raise your hand. And we see one over here, Dr. David Carter.
Okay, so everything is meant to show you your purpose, everything that you're going through. Okay, but how do you apply then if you don't like the way your life is going, then you change your thinking, you change your life? But you're saying that even in the process of changing your thinking, and I'm not saying that the previous thinking was wrong, but you just don't feel comfortable in that direction. So when you change your thinking and go in a different direction, all of this is still guiding you and molding you to your ultimate purpose.
That's right. Yes. Every experience we have, it's bringing us back. It's aligning us. So we're going to attract, as we talked about, this law of opposites. So we're looking for definition. We may be going down this pathway, but the law of opposites is attracting something we don't like, which brings clarity to what we do want. So we adjust and move in that direction. So what we're seeing is everything that we're attracting in our life is helping us realign to have greater definition is what is it you really, really want? What is it you really desire in your life? What is really your purpose? Because I think our purpose really is that inner desire to express God from our unique perspectives. So, you know, each one of us is going to be unique, and each one of us may have a slightly different purpose for being in this world. And I want to tell you this, your soul designed by choice, the experience of saying, I want to unfold this purpose in the journey of life. And I came here to do this. So honor your soul's decision and respect that soul's decision and acknowledge that everything that's going on in your life is helping you fulfill the decision your soul made in coming to this experience of here and now in this life. So in your note packet, you're going to see a big bright light. This is the City of Light logo, which is all the light that symbolizes our understanding and wisdom of God. Everything is meant to be this way to show you something, to guide you or to teach you. Everything you're going through was meant to be this way. And you're like, wow, okay. So maybe this difficult experience or this challenge I had with someone or the attitude I had at McDonald's buying an iced tea was there for a purpose. And it was meant to be there. So again, these kind of outlooks help us remove things from good or bad judgments about it. They're just meant to be. And they're guiding you. They're teaching you. They're helping you, you know. And so, you know, everything is there just, you know, today was like a day of just interruption. I started my day at 5. I'm on schedule. I got my notes done early. I'm on schedule. You know, I walk the dog. I'm on schedule. Breakfast is done. Check. Everything's going. And then the phone rings. Can I talk, Pastor? Yeah, you can. Tick, you know, and okay, you know, and I'm sorry, I've got to teach a class, so I'm going to have to run, and I'm looking at the clock, behind schedule, you know, like, okay, just relax, because everything is there to teach you that no matter what, everything's going to happen in the right and perfect time. It's going to guide you. Don't let stress and worry. And so I thought, okay, I'm cool. I'll make up time in traffic. I'm just going to really put the pedal to the metal, I should say, and I'm going to get there, Ding, ding, ding. You need to stop for gas, says the light. What? Not today. So I'm stopping to get gas, and I'm thinking, just know everything is there, meant to guide you and teach you and unfold something to show you that, hey, chill. Everything's going to happen in the right, perfect time. We're all going to be there. It's going to be there. And even though we may try our hardest and best, little things that are coming there, but they're coming up into our life, hey, to guide us, show us, speak to us, reveal. And one is that all things are going to work together for good, no matter what time schedule you're working in. So I apologize. It's not my intention, but I guess I needed to learn a lesson today, and I appreciated it. So let's understand that our purpose is you. Your purpose is you. Everything connected to you is therefore part of your purpose. So now the key is to align your authentic vibration of your purpose. Align that. Come into the sense of oneness. And this is about loving you. I can't tell you how important this experience is. You will never know God to the fullest, because God is love, until you love yourself to the fullest. Because the love that's within you is there for you. God within you, that is love, is there for you. So loving ourselves is one of the most important steps we can take, and begin to just acknowledge and love ourselves. That's right. Love yourself for all the warts and craziness and, flaws that you may have, and those spare tire and that extra weight that you're carrying, or whatever it may be that you're feeling, those wrinkles in your face, those gray hairs, whatever it may be. Yes, stop and love yourself for who you are and where you are. Isn't it funny? We look at a rose and how beautiful it is as it opens up as a bright colored bud, and it just pops out, and we see this tightly formed bud, how pretty it is in that stage. And then it begins to open a little bit, and we think, oh, it's even pretty then. And then we find it opening up even wider, and how beautiful it is even then. And then as it's fully open and maybe drops a petal or two, we still see beauty in it. There's beauty in all stages and levels of our life. Why then would we covet only that tightly formed rosebud? Why not appreciate the rose in all levels and stages as we do? And let me tell you, you're a beautiful rose. Whether you're in that uptight bud stage, or whether you're just blooming a little bit, or whether you're a full blossom, or whether you've dropped a petal or two, you know what? There's beauty in you, and we need to experience that and just love ourselves for wherever we are, whatever stage of life we are, and represent the beauty of a rose in that stage, the beauty of a life in that stage. Love yourself. Love yourself. And as you do, you're beginning to return to your authentic self. This is me, and this is me just as I am, and I love and value the journey of life that has brought me to where I am. So this is going to all help you in beginning to find your passions. So I love this exercise, and let's just take a moment to do this. Let's start making a list of 100 things that you love to do, or that you just love and enjoy. Now, we're not going to take time for all 100. So how about you just write out 5 things right now on your note packet, on the back sheet, or wherever it may be. Just take a moment to think about, what are some things that you love, or that you love doing? What might they be in your journey of your life? Take a moment to write them down. Everyone just list them out. Like, what? I love this. I enjoy that. I really, do you enjoy cooking? Do you enjoy cleaning? Do you enjoy teaching? Do you enjoy walking? Do you enjoy just reading a book? Do you enjoy coming to classes? I hope that's number 1. Whatever it may be, whatever it is that you enjoy. Are you enjoying studying? Are you enjoying seeking? Do you enjoy conversation? I'm just throwing a bunch of things out to stimulate your thinking because you know what it is you enjoy. You go into your heart space within and say, these are the things that really bring about joy in my life. How about it? Everyone got, 3 or 4 at least, or some of them written down? Wonderful. So the items on the top of your list are usually going to be your strongest clues to your true passions. And your job is to identify your true passions and then act on them. That's right. We're really fulfilling our purpose when we're acting out and living out and demonstrating what are our passions. What are we passionate about? So someone want to share maybe a couple of what are your things that you love? Anyone? All right, Norma.
I enjoy singing in choir.
Singing.
Just singing in general.
Great. Wonderful. Another one?
Baking.
Baking.
You
Great.
That had to come
We
up.
knew that had to come up, yes. So there's creativity within your purpose of life, whether being creative through music or baking. Your life really is unfolding in essence of being creative. Now, you can narrow that creativity down to some things that are more unique to you. Some people say, well, I love being creative by, building houses. Well, okay, you're more building cakes or building a musical experience. So our creativity, a lot of us are going to have probably something creative that's there because that's a true essence of pretty well a lot of people's nature. Let's go to Carla. What's your takeaway? What's your passion?
It's funny because that's what you said. Reading, studying, and learning. So it's
Yes.
class, and then sharing what I've learned.
Beautiful. Excellent. So a purpose for you to find great bliss in your soul's journey is to fulfill those, to practice those, to do those. And you're on a wonderful pathway. You're going to be doing that, I know, in a greater way. Let's go to Brenda. I saw your hand go up. What's your passion?
I really love animals.
Animals.
I go out and I put bird feed in the feeders, and I just sit and watch them interact with each other. And I have a spider that made a clock the other day, and he had a time. It was 10:30.
Ah,
And I was just amazed at that. It looked like a clock.
wonderful.
So I like that.
Great purpose around nature and caring and demonstrating a care for animals or the world around you in a powerful way. Live out that purpose. Take time to really do that. Someone else want to share? Dr. David Carter.
I love looking at and taking pictures and videos of whales, deer, otters, bald eagles. And my second one is taking classes. And my third one is resolving legal issues.
Great purpose. And when we think about all of this, how it might live out in different dynamics, just finding the bliss and the joy of taking care of nature, certainly studying. It has to be the best that we can be and allowing nature to guide and see all that. Wow, I love how purpose all fits together on so many different levels. Anyone else want to share theirs? How about in the back?
Yeah, I like going to church/meetings and working or doing something that would take care of my family and loved ones.
Excellent. So what we're finding, these are things that are bringing bliss to our life. We're finding our purpose may not be our career, our job, but we can find opportunities to live out that purpose within all kinds of contexts. So we may find joy in nature, but maybe your job is something else. But as you're driving to work or away from work or even in work, you may find some way to experience nature, care for nature, notice nature, things like that. So there's ways to incorporate our purpose in no matter whatever we may be doing. So what we want to do is to allow this experience to happen in our life, because this is going to enable us to align ourselves with the essence and vibration of who we really are, And again, we have kind of labeled ourselves maybe by a job, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a this or a that. But our purpose in life may be seen differently than just that label. So we want to move beyond that label of a career. And how do we do the work that we do from our life's purpose? So we may do it with creativity, with great joy of experiencing weaving nature into it. On goes the list. When we shift our life in a new and a powerful direction, like this, of discovering our purpose and naming our passions, what's going to happen is we're going to fill our life with greater joy. So when you live out those passions, and I know I'm like Carla, one of my great passions is I love study. I could be the eternal student, sometimes I would be calling people around and say, who's got a class? And, before COVID-19, I would call so many of these just spiritual centers and say, are you doing a class? Can I just pop in? Because I just wanted to be a student in that environment. Now it's a little more challenging, but I find that there are different things of spiritual teachers online, and I pop in on a class and take the class through the internet. I enjoy that. I find my bliss in that. I'm a research reader, so I love to read, but I'm not necessarily all about a novel or for entertainment. I love to research, and so these are my passions. So I love, can I take a good book with me wherever I go? I usually have one in the car. So if there's some place where I'm not, getting an oil change or whatever, I can live up my passion during that experience. So on a day-to-day basis, we can experience those, bring those purposes of life together. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy what I do for a living. I would do this, and trust me, I would pay you to do this job. Hey, don't take me up on that, but just kidding. But that's how much I love this experience. I really do. I find it's part of my bliss in life. So when you allow this, you begin to feel some optimism. And let me tell you this, when you are engaging in your purpose, your bliss, those things that you find is, you're going to be much more optimistic. Because we find so many people who come from a negative perspective, they're not living out their purpose. They haven't taken time to name their passions and to live them out. But when they do, and I've experienced some people who come from a very negative perspective of life, but once they're engaged in a passion, wow, they change. They're more optimistic. I have someone who was in my life who has just come to experiences of life constantly with complaints. But as soon as he had the opportunity to play the guitar, suddenly he's playing the guitar and he was enjoying his passion. And suddenly his whole perspective on everything he was complaining about made a shift. So I've seen this really happen in first-hand experiences. And I know it happens for each and every one of us. When we're engaged in our passion, boy, don't we feel a vibrational frequency lifting us into a sense of optimism? Right. So whatever it is your passion, it's really important that you take time to engage in that passion, because it's going to help lift your vibrational frequency. You're going to feel the power and potential of soul energy. That's right. The energy of the soul, that spiritual essence that's residing within this body. The energy will, how many of you have said you've done something creative and you just couldn't stop? Like it went on all night, I can remember, I was working on a painting and just enjoying the creative expression of being an artist, and I just could not even think of stopping and going to bed. And at 2:00 in the morning, I'm still painting away, and I'm just loving the experience because I was so energized and I just couldn't stop, So that's so true in our lives when we're engaging in our passions, in our bliss. Find it. You're going to find yourself energizing your soul, giving yourself a big soul caffeine rush, you might say, because it's all based in your passions that's being energized by this. So the next question might be, what's your natural talents? Because this is another clue to what your soul has come to achieve. What naturally comes to you? There's a lot of us, we like to expand or learn a talent, but it maybe doesn't come so naturally. But what naturally comes to you that's within your nature? Now, Dr. David Carter says he loves working out legal matters. Is that correct? Is that how you wrote it? There's a passion, but it's also a talent within him. And he serves as advisor to our board of directors. And so he's always the one that we turn to because he's likes, enjoys, finds passion about this, finds joy. It's a natural talent where others are like, oh, do I have to research this? Oh, it's not their natural talent. It's not their passion. So it's finding what that talent is within us also that really helps us hone in and get clarity about the passion and purpose of life. The big question is, what makes you feel alive? Really? What makes you feel alive? Because when you get closer, or when you get clear about what you feel passionate about and act on those things, it allows you to instantly connect with your soul, and you feel like, I'm living, I'm alive. When you're experiencing your passions, your purpose, don't you feel really alive? You're vibrating. You're allowing the soul to express in its unique way. So remember, your soul didn't go out in all effort of coming here into this physical form to simply live a boring existence. My fundamentalist Christian upbringing was all about piety and all about conservatism in spirit and all about focusing on God and holiness, whether it be holiness in our attire or holiness and the fact that we refrain from dancing or watching television or going to a movie or going to the state fair or any of these kind of things. We just we're all about that piety. And after a while, I was like, dang, we really live a boring life as Christians. I'd go to school the next day and my friends would say, hey, this is what I did over the weekend. I'm like, what'd you do? Well, I went to church. There was a church potluck after church. We went to afternoon service. We went to the evening service. That's it. Yeah, that was it. That was my weekend. Yeah. Woo. Wow. Okay. Hey, you live a wild and crazy life, don't you? Yeah. Well, that's us, And so it was like, wait a minute. My sister and I said, did we ever learn how to have fun? Like, wow, we're at a more mature state in life and we're like saying, wait a minute, what do we do for fun? Well, we didn't know what fun was because, the weekend was, especially Sundays, was your day of rest. You don't do anything active. You may read some spiritual materials, as a, seventh grader. That was like, wow, okay, that wasn't a big thing for my life. But you had to stay home and just be very conservative. And it's like, okay, And of course, then I like to express creativity. So, when I was young, I had a job having a paper route and I had my own money. So I wanted to buy my own clothes and I wanted to be very creative. And wait. No, those white bell bottoms and that purple striped shirt is not very godly. It's a little wild on the worldly side and a little bit you're, having too much fun with your dressing. You need to tone that all down. You need to, think, a little more conservatively. And so I was in a church service where they actually asked me to step out of the sanctuary because that's how conservative they were, that my white bell bottoms and my purple striped shirt was a little too much of the world. And you expressing like you're just a little too creative in this, your clothing choices and expressing yourself a little bit too much. We need to tone all that down and maybe a long sleeve shirt, maybe a dark gray, black, something like this. Might fit more in line with expressing, how we live our spirituality. And it was like growing up and saying, wait a minute, I came as a soul here to live this boring life. I love this phrase, the soul came to taste chocolate, because I think it really describes why we're here in this life, to experience life, to taste and experience unique and wonderful things, to express ourselves, to live out our passion, to live out our purpose, and to do it in those ways that are unique to each and every one of us. That there isn't one way that says, no, the only way you do it is this or that. And of course, I certainly have learned a wonderful sense of putting spirituality, working on my soul at a high level of perspective because of my upbringing. So I appreciate all of that. So it wasn't all bad in that, but how we expressed it, and how we had fun, and how we lived out that life might have been a little bit, confined. So now, hey, if you see me in a wild hot pink and blue stripe or paisley shirt, I'm just expressing my creativity, all right? And just being that creative spirit and fulfilling a life purpose, okay? Yeah, watch what I'm wearing next week, exactly, yes. So I love this quote by Oprah Winfrey. She says this: "I've come to believe that each of us has a personal calling that is unique as a fingerprint, and that the best way to succeed is to discover what you love and then find a way to offer it to others in the form of service." And I think that's so true, because when we find out what we love, it's not just for us, but what we love is the ability to having the opportunities to share it with others. Share your creativity, share your wisdom, share your insight, share your talents, share your passion, share it with others in the form of some level of service. And I think that's beautiful, because we find great fulfillment in sharing our life's purpose, our passion with others. Service is truly living out your purpose. So let me ask, where are you giving service in life? Where are you sharing those things that you've listed that you love, that are passions? How are you sharing them? Look for and seek opportunities to do that. And you're going to find great bliss, great fulfillment, and that soul energy being ignited in a new level. Now, as you start raising that vibration by loving yourself, now this is where we start, because if we don't love ourselves, what kind of life, what kind of vibrational frequency are we living in? It's a negativity. It all begins within, because as within, so without. So what's ever going inside you is what's going to manifest outside of you. So this is why we encourage everyone to begin with the daily exercises with some self-love, loving yourself. So what we want to do is allowing this positive energy to be released by aligning our life with it, and to become more motivated. Well, what's going to happen is that as we align ourselves with this positive energy, we're becoming more motivated, and we trust ourselves more in the pursuit of what we really want to do in life. Let me tell you this. I encounter a lot of people, and I encounter myself on this issue of trusting myself, So what happens is, we've got to learn to trust ourselves, and that's number one, be yourself. Stop trying to be something that you're not, or something other, or something that somebody wants you to be. And don't be afraid of being who you are. That's right. Don't be afraid of being a little crazy. So you put some pink highlights in your hair. All right. Well, so what? You changed your home decor. Or so what? Or maybe you got more creative. Or maybe you went out and you decided, I'm going to build a tree house. Or, whatever it may be that you're just doing. Don't be afraid. Be yourself and express yourself in those ways that are unique to you. Next, get some smaller goals and start there. Don't try to bite off the whole elephant at once and eat the whole elephant with one big bite. How about breaking the elephant into some small bites? And the more you accomplish goals in small ways, the more you begin to trust your ability. So, maybe Norma loves baking cakes and one day hopes to be this world-renowned baker in the world. Maybe you start by baking some small cakes, baking cakes for other people, learning and creating. And before you know it, you set these goals, your confidence begins to rise. You begin to trust yourself. And you know what? You begin to say, I am a baker and I can. And you know what? I'm going to enter a baking contest. And the next thing you know, suddenly the New York Times is writing a story about you, about your creative skills and how you combine coconut and curry in a new cake or whatever it may be that's just unusual and unique because you became so expressive, So trust yourself and begin with some smaller goals. Love yourself unconditionally. You know what? Take some time to be kind to yourself. We're so good at being kind to others. And we think about kindness for other people. But have we been kind to ourselves? And we can be our worst critics, can't we? Oh, my Lord, just standing in the mirror could be a critical session, couldn't it? You know, we can critique everything about what we see and we think is not present or should be present, or what needs not be present as we look maybe at that stomach or whatever it may be that we're looking in the mirror and we're thinking, wait. We can be our worst critics. But have we really invested in time in being kind to ourselves? And that's so crucial, kindness to the very soul and essence that you are. Dr. David Carter, you got a comment?
Yeah. So sometimes when you're working on being who you are, the people in your immediate environment may have a problem with that. But do you think as you go along the path of being who you are and you totally accept yourself, does that self-acceptance change or modify the way people perceive you?
Oh, definitely. Because if we haven't accepted ourselves fully and loved ourselves, how could we expect anyone else to love ourselves in the way that we are expressing ourselves? So in other words, if you don't have a sense of confidence, you know what I mean? Some of you decided maybe to put a big pink bow in your hair one time and you're second guessing it because everyone says that bow looks a little strange and crazy but your confidence says, no, it's my creativity and I love it. I think I like the way it looks, whatever. And so what happens is your confidence about that pink bow, suddenly other people say, wow, pink bows are cool. And suddenly you started a massive trend. And all across the world, everyone's starting to wear a pink bow in their hair. You think about how all these trends started with somebody doing something a little unusual, out of the norm. And then people going, whoa, wait a minute. That's pretty cool. That's kind of creative, think about those kind of things. How many pop stars started some new fashion by doing something great? How about gloves with the fingers being cut off? I think Madonna started that in the 80s. And then suddenly everybody was wearing lace gloves. All these girls with the fingers cut off. They were doing a Madonna thing. They were doing tulle tied up in their hair. I'm dating myself by 80s illustrations. But anyway, I'm just saying to you that how people started some sort of trends by being unique and confident about their choices. So I want to encourage you to trust yourself, love yourself, be confident in the journey you're on, and others will pick up on that confidence. Dr. Ann, your comment.
This is off a little bit, but yesterday on NBC News in the morning, they interviewed 3 couples where the men had married older women, and the biggest factor, each man said, they asked him, do you mind that your wife makes more money than you do? And they're all going, no. But the thing that they really admitted was the older women had more confidence, and they really appreciated that. They really liked that in them. And whereas younger women don't, they're building their confidence. And that was interesting to me, because I've always, I grew up in the 50s and I had to be a little wallflower and, not be do anything, out of the ordinary.
Demure, just very,
And I never thought of myself as confident, but I'm free to do that now from expression.
And I think they will tell you all around the world, confidence is sexy. Yes.
Yeah.
You love a confident man, you love a confident woman, someone who is insecure about their own selves and insecure about life. They are kind of withdrawn, and they are the person standing in the corner at the party and holding up the wall. It's the person who's got the confidence, who's laughing and enjoying themselves, that suddenly you say, I want to be with that person. I'm attracted to that person. So, show off that confidence that's deep within you. So next, stop second guessing yourself and doubting your abilities. I know it. This is speaking to me. I don't know how many times I've started my outline for my book, and I've got maybe 10 different books. And then after I've got, I'm so excited. Yes, I'm writing on this. And then, wait a minute. Am I saying anything new? And is this really, do I need to put another book out that's on this issue? And so you're almost second guessing yourself about everything you do. And that's one of the worst things you can do. Hello, talking to myself today. And I'm saying, trust yourself to express that what you have to say is of value. Trust yourself in your skills and what you're doing. Trust yourself. Stop second guessing yourself and your abilities. Use affirmations to remind you to trust and believe in yourself. So again, I went to a writer's workshop. Very first thing they did as they opened up the workshop, please stand up, everyone rise, and everyone proudly announce what's on the screen and say it loudly. And I looked up on the screen, it says, I am an author. Whoa, wait, I'm not an author. Say it again. I am an author. Say it again. I am an author. So I went out and I got my book out yesterday of all my notes from that workshop. And what's the front of it say? I am an author. Okay, that is my daily affirmation as I begin once again, number 685 attempt at starting the book that I want to write. And so remember, failure is not necessarily a bad thing. And, again, part of not trusting yourself and second guessing yourself is you're afraid you're going to fail. But failure is simply an opportunity to learn and to grow and to try again. Wow. Just think about it. If you don't try and if you fail, but failing becomes a learning experience, it only helps you to know how to be better, right? So Norma, when you made those first cakes, did they all turn out perfect, or were there some what you tried and you failed, right? But you learned from it. And now you look at all those cakes that fell and whatever, and you forgot the egg or you forgot the sugar in and whatever the ingredients as you made them. And you look back and you go, now I've learned how. And because of the failures, I'm a greater success in who I am. So when we look back in life and we think about all the failures we have to say thank you to those failures because we've learned some lessons. And this is what I want to say to people too is, the Bible says all have failed. That's right. All have sinned. And what sin is simply you missed the mark. You failed. Okay. So if we're all in the same boat, then we look around and go, wait a minute, you failed, you failed, you failed, you failed, I failed. So you don't have to feel like being a failure sets you apart in some way that you are strange and not normal or that you're just not good enough, because we've all been there in some shape or form. And that should give us some sense of like, oh, that's right. I'm not less than anybody else. I'm equal to, because we've all been in the boat of failure. But the beautiful thing about this is, did we learn something from it? And that's when failures become great assets to our life. So how do we turn a failure now into something that is just a great gift, an asset? Well, we begin to say, what did we learn from it? So if we've gained something, then the value of that failure is just even more magnified and intensified to such a wonderful way. That I put in your notes this simply thing that, what do we learn from it? If we did learn, it was a good thing, a necessary thing to help us move on in life. So this failure was a necessary, meant to be, God-given, shall we say, ordained, or something that you attracted to you in the journey of your life, shall we say, spirit-led, unfolding for your life, because our choices may take us to places that we didn't plan to be, but they can teach us this is the pathway to our dreams. We may get somewhere where we didn't think, I thought I'd never be here. I never thought I'd make a cake that failed. I never thought I'd do this that wasn't great. I never thought I'd, be at this place. But it showed me the pathway to my dreams. It opened the door to saying, this is what I want, desire. And I know better how to achieve it because of this experience. So lastly, we want to talk about this is that, have you given yourself permission to succeed? Give yourself permission to succeed. Because a lot of us, we haven't even started there to say, it's all right, Norma. It's all right, Ann. It's all right, David. It's all right, whomever's watching, to succeed, to be a success. It's okay. Because we think, and sometimes we're afraid of our dreams becoming a reality. Oh my God, what would happen if I became a world-renowned baker? What would happen if I became a world-renowned teacher and motivational speaker? What would happen if I became this naturalist that began to take care of nature all around me and I lived out my passion? All these kind of things as we talk about in the examples, what would happen if we said, I'm scared of success and That's maybe why success isn't coming to us. So how about we give permission to succeed and start right now by sharing this quote that you find in your note packet. I allow myself to succeed in my passions, talents, and in my purpose. You find it there? Let's say it together, all right? I allow myself to succeed in my passions, talents, in my purpose. I'm allowing. I'm opening the door for success in every one of my passions, in every one of the talents that I enjoy. Success in singing is coming to you as you allow that, Norma. Success is coming to you as you become a legal person who is investigating legal documents and learning. It's there, David, for you. It's success as we begin to look from that perspective in all ways. So today, I hope what we're really grasping here is as we begin this class, we talked about our vibrational invitation. Are you inviting success? Are you inviting growth? Are you giving the vibrational invitation for learning, even through failure? Are you giving the vibrational invitation to trust yourself, love yourself, enough that you stop this crazy second guessing? That's right, I'm talking to me. Stop this crazy second guessing and trust yourself. So we see this incredible invitation in our life that's going to change and transform us, because everything is meant to be this way, to show you something, to guide you, or to teach you. Isn't it wonderful? Life is a great teacher. It's speaking to us right now. Life is guiding us, leading us in this journey of the soul's desire to taste some chocolate, to experience life to the fullest, for the soul to really evolve and grow and become. So for this to happen, allow life to be your instructor and listen to your teacher. Allow life to be your guide and to take you to those green pastures and still waters the psalmist is writing of. Life is leading you. God is life. Life is God. It is there in this wonderful way to help you achieve those goals of your highest and best. All right. Thanks for joining us today in our class. I'm glad that you're with us, and I'd love to hear what's your takeaway from today's class. So take a moment to think, well, what really spoke to me? And I'd love for you, I'm going to go around the class and I'm going to ask you to just share what really spoke to you. So think about a moment, look over your note packet. Maybe there's something that really jumps out at you. And for those of you who are joining us through our live streaming or our YouTube channel, take a moment and would you please just jot down what really spoke to you? What would be a takeaway from this class that goes, you know what, this is what I received. This is what I learned, okay? So while we're waiting to hear from those who are joining us through our live streaming, let's begin with our students who are gathered in this class setting now. So let's go to Dr. David Carter and say, what's your takeaway?
Okay, I have two.
All right.
The first one is, no person or thing comes into my life unless I draw it unto me based on the vibrations I'm sending out. I love it with energy. And the second one is on page 3, where it says, remember your soul didn't go through all the effort of coming into physical form simply to live a boring existence. Soul wants to taste chocolate.
Beautiful. Yes. Let's go to Anne.
Okay. I really loved what you said. The love within you is there for you. And I like it so much. I have a cousin who does needlework. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to ask her if she would do that in needlework for me so I could hang it up on the wall and maybe put some hearts or something around it. But it's there for you to feel loved, to be loved, to be loved. Yep.
Good. Dr. Carla, we're going to say doctor in the words there because I'm believing you're coming into that direction because that's your purpose.
One day, that's true. And so it is, right? And so I thought when you were talking about that last part, I thought, why did they say with age comes wisdom? Because we've lived life long enough to make a lot of mistakes. And when you really stop to think about it, we learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes. And those mistakes are what make up experience, and experience can lead to even greater success. So I'm going to decide to perceive any mistakes as steps towards success, just another step, and I'm going to choose to be grateful for the increase in that wisdom.
Excellent. I think that's fantastic. All right, let's go to Norma.
I've got 3 too. First, I need to define what I want more purposefully.
Yes.
Do it in a disciplined manner. I'm doing it, but it's kind of random. The other thing is, it's okay to make a mistake and to have failures. It's also okay to succeed.
Beautiful. Let's go to Brenda.
I was just thinking, I made a lot of big mistakes, and I wanted to go back and see what the very first one I made was. So I was, in a meditative state, and I realized what I had done was try to keep everybody happy. So I wasn't worrying about whether I was going to be happy. It was because I wanted all these people to be happy. And that was the first thing I did. And that's been all along. That's at the base of a lot of it. So when you make a mistake, it's usually really good for you because then you learn where your basic feelings are.
Right. And I think sometimes we need to refine that word mistake because we put so much shame and guilt and feeling bad about it rather than saying, wow, glorious learning experience or something else. We need to change that whole idea about these things, that because again, these are great learning opportunities, and that's part of our evolution. Carla.
I just want to say, when you were talking there, it made me think the word mistake, and just like in movies where they go, take 2, because they learned what didn't work the first time,
right.
And so they did take 2. So we
gives you a take 2. I like that. Right. Either that or you could be your pageant name, Mistake. There you go. All right, let's go to the back. You feel like offering a comment? Nope, you don't. All right, we won't make you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
Great.
Confidence is one to take out with you, and where you said here on this second page about the passions, finding your passions, and also putting it to find your natural talents.
Yeah. Great. We're going to look for those things because it's going to keep us going and align our soul to our highest and best. Any takeaways from our students who are joining us through live streaming?
No.
Nope, not yet. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. It was a delight to have you in this session on the power of positive energy. We're going to send out some great invitations, vibrational invitations this week. So set that in mind, that I am inviting more love, more grace, more peace, more joy, abundance, and prosperity. That's the invitation. I'm writing them out. You are invited to come and party at Paul's house right here. Love, come on and join me. You're invited. Come on. Peace. Come on down. Abundance and prosperity, because I'm inviting you to celebrate right here inside me. And that's the invitation I'm putting out. And I hope you'll join in that too as well. I look forward to seeing you next week as we join together at 10:30 for this continuing study on the power of positive energy. I know you're going to have a great week. I already sense and know it. I hope you join with me in that consciousness. And I'll see you next week. God bless you.